Hey everyone, welcome or welcome back here to my channel where I play Planet Zoo. My name is Nissa and today we're gonna make a habitat for the harbor seal and the ringed seal. That wasn't actually my intention for today, but I kind of feel like I needed a buffer in here between this habitat and the next because the sea otter needed a cold area. And then I didn't want to put the hot areas on both sides of that. So therefore we need a cold area here, and we're actually gonna have a little bit of snow in here also. So yeah, let's make a snowy, rocky, tundra-ish area for the ringed and harbor seal. We're gonna start with all the practical today, which is making this habitat bigger, therefore, or that's why we're actually moving the path here. And then we're gonna make the house first before we're gonna add the seals and then make it more as a seal habitat. I did think about making kind of a podium where the keeper, or sorry, the educator could go in and throw fish and talk about them. But I kind of feel like that would be a lot show-like, so I wanted to stay with what we got in this area, where we have the underwater viewing, where we will have educators on this seating area. But up here it needed to be for just looking at them, also because the seal will be disturbed by the people up here, but not the people down there. You will notice when it comes to guests, we don't have any guests in this area. We will have for a short time, because when you add a new animal, all of your guests want to go there at once. But the guests do prefer to go to the underwater viewing and not up here. It's basically because this is a blind road at this point. Of course, it will go all around the water area. So therefore it will be rounded so you can go through it, but at this part you need, or at this point, sorry, I just can't speak today, you need to go all the way down here to look at the seals, and then all the way back when you can just go down there and take a sit and yeah, enjoy the view. So therefore I understand why my guests don't want to go here, but it isn't planned. We're gonna fix down here so we don't have that tiny window. We're gonna make it a bit better up here. And here you can see we're gonna go for a big angle. So I actually thought I made a massive habitat, but the thing is though, they kind of need a lot of deep water. So even though I give them a lot of water, not all of it counts as deep water. So I had to make some changes, as I did Wednesday with the sea otters, to make them deep dive. Though I think it's funny because there's an area of the water that doesn't count as deep water, but they can dive there if you have deep water other places. So it's kind of confusing actually. A thing I always forget to mention in these videos is the fact that these are modded animals, so you can't get them in any DLC or anything like that. You can of course get the gray seal. I believe that is in the Aquatic DLC. And I do believe you need that because the modders use the rigs of the gray seal to make these seals. But besides that, you actually don't need anything you put money on. In here you just download the mods and install them into your game. I of course left links for the mods down below, both where you can download them but also my videos on them, so you can get a close look up at the animal if you want that. Of course I also left a video down there from Leaf where he explains how to download them, how to install them into your game. Because it can be a little tricky even if you used mod before, because some games are different and mods are not officially endorsed by the Frontier, so there's no official way to get them in there, so you kind of need to take the back door. So Leaf have a wonderful video on that, and I recommend you see that before start starting with mods, but besides that, mods can bring so much new into a game. You can see this zoo alone, I have so many mods in here. And so many habitats I wouldn't be able to make. Even here I use the walls from a mod. I don't link prop mods down there. I don't have that many prop mods, and I have a playlist only with prop mods, so you can see it all there. Plus, there are some things where I forget that it's from a mod, so therefore I don't think it would be fair to tell you some mods and not other mods, so therefore I have a playlist, so you can go and see it all if you want to. And once again, I just want to mention real fast, I'm gonna start another zoo that will go on beside this zoo, so we're gonna have 2 different zoos. And that will be live streamed, so you can go and follow, ask questions about the zoo if you want to. But it won't be with the same research angle, it will be more for fun, and it will actually be you who decides time for time which habitat we're gonna do next. Yeah. I will do that live, but I will upload the videos so you can go in and see them afterwards. So we will have the zoo which are education and speedball, and then we will have the other zoo which are step by step what we're gonna do, my thought process when I make a zoo, because over time it isn't actually meant that I know what I'm doing when I go into this. The plan is over time that it will evolve to a kind of, I just see we're gonna make something and then the people who are live with me are going to decide what we're gonna do. Not in the start, but that's the plan over time, so you can really fuck with my mind about what we're gonna do. The first thing I'm gonna do is a train station, because this train will be the only way the guests can see the animals, and I'm not sure if I probably not done it yet when this video goes out. Sorry, it's Wednesday for me right now. I know it goes out Saturday. But I think probably doing next week we're gonna start. But the playlist will be up. You can go and check if I already made it when this video go out. But I don't think it's gonna be this week. And with all of that done, it's time to go a little bit more into the what's it called? Sorry, I just can't speak today, or probably always. So we're gonna go into the facts about these two, and I will do kind of like I did with the Asian small clawed otter and the Eurasian otter. So I will kind of do it comparatively, so you can't I won't tell you all about the one and then about the other. I will do it side by side. And once again, all of my information today comes from animalia.bio, and link is in the description. And as always, I recommend you go in and you learn more about these animals and other animals, because there are so many beautiful animals out there and I can tell you about them all. I thought we would start with the basic cold hard facts about these two. The harbor seal, which there are 300, 500 to 500,000 lived in the wild, compared with 1.5 million for the ringed seal. Both of them have a lifespan between 25 and 30 years, but the top speed are different, where the harbor seal only swims. I assume this is their swim speed, because that's the fastest. They are faster in water than on land. Is 19 kilometers per hour, where the top speed from the ring seal is 30. So there are kind of one and a half time faster. Can you say that? The harbor seal have very big difference in sizes, so they can weigh between 55 and 168 kilos. Again, double that, then you have it in pounds. Where the weight of the ring seal is actually in between this, but much more narrow, so it's weigh from 65 to 95 kilos only. So they're kind of in the middle of this. The length of the harbor seal is also longer. It grows up to 1.80 centimeters. That's 5 feet, 5 1/3 feet. Sorry. And then the ring seal is 1.4 to 1.6 meters, which is roughly 4.5 feet. So clearly here the harbor seal can grow much bigger than the ring seal. A common thing for seal is that the males are much bigger than the females, so that's probably why there are so much difference. So you can actually have a harbor seal female that's smaller than the ring seal females, but for males, the biggest ones, the harbor seals, are much bigger. I'm just gonna be honest with this roof. It was a random idea I got. I have no idea how or what to do it for. I just thought it would be cute that you have the house on one side and then maybe a grazing animal on the other side. So I have no idea yet what I'm gonna do with it, but I do believe that it's gonna be great at some point. Even though the harbor seal can clearly grow bigger than the ring seal, they are actually still one of the smaller seals out there, and their color can vary a lot. It can be light gray, white, or yellowish gray with darker spots, or it can be gray, black, or brown with spots or light rings. Its fur is short and thick, and it have these coarse, dense, strong hairs, which are kind of a guard for the fur, and then they have these very fine under hair. They have a gland that's produce oil, which kind of oil all of their fur up to waterproof it. Now the ring seal is not only one of the smallest seals, but it's actually the smallest pinnipeds out there. I hope I pronounced that right. Pinnipeds, if you don't know, because I sure didn't, pinnipeds are a group of finned animals that both have their forefins and back fins, but they can go on land, so it would be seals, sea lions, and walruses mainly. They usually have a very dark gray upside, but underneath on the belly they are normally very light gray or silvery gray. So you can really see the massive difference if you look at them from down when they swim. You can dive under and see this light beautiful color, but when you see them from the upside, you will see this dark color, which actually kind of camouflages them in the water, because when you look downwards in deep water, it will look dark, and when you look up from deep water, it will look very light. So it's kind of a camouflage. They also have these rings that they're kind of known for, which are also light gray or silver, but not the same nuance that the belly is. So they will have them all over, but normally they will be much easier to see on the back and sides where the dark color is. So here when you look to the water, you can clearly see these color differences on the ring seals, belly, back, and then the more constant color for the harbor seal. Another way to easily remember or tell apart the ring seal is that the eyes are very close, and we all know, I don't know if all know, but you can tell predators and prey apart very easily by the eyes, because predators have very narrow eyes because they have to look forward and focus on what they're looking at, what they hunt. Where predators, on the other hand, have eyes more apart, so they can not focus as much as on one thing, but they can see much more, which help them kind of know when the predator arrives. So this seal have very predatorial eyes. Now, one thing that really tells the ring seal apart, we need to remember they live on the pole. They live very cold areas with tundra climate, and therefore they kind of have eyes on top. Even though they can dive and close their nose holes, as sea otters also does when they dive, so they can dive for a long time, but they do need to get up through the ice to breathe once in a while, and therefore they actually have these pointed claws, which are almost an inch thick. Could you imagine that? An inch thick claw on their front flippers. Sorry, I will just clarify it. 1 inch is around 2.5 centimeter, roughly. Do remember when I translate all of these, what's it called, units, I do the best I can. I don't look it up every time. But an inch thick and then very pointy claws and these front flippers to from underneath poke holes through the ice to get up and breathe. Now, talking of the cold and where they live, there are a slight difference here. There are still a reason why I put them in the same habitat, since they all live both in Europe, North America and Asia. But let's get into it. The harbor seal, and here you really need to pay attention if you want to hear the differences here. In the harbor seal, Belgium, Canada, Denmark, that's here, Finland, France, Germany, Iceland, Ireland, Japan, Mexico, Netherlands, Norway, Russia, Sweden, United Kingdom, United States, Portugal and Spain. So they actually do get a long way down. Going over to the ring seal, who is the one that are made to poke through ice here. Canada, Estonia, Finland, Japan, Latvia, Norway, Russia, Sweden, United States, China, Denmark, again that's here, Faroe, Portugal, United Kingdom. So they are a bit of a different looking at the biomes, and I just want to clarify it. Animalia have biome as one point, and then afterward climate zones. So that's not the same. I know Frontier like to put them in together, but they are a little different. So the harbor seal live in intertidal zone, ocean pelagic zone, coastal, marine, freshwater, Nearctic zone and wetlands area, so they don't actually need to be in deep water all the time. They can also go up in a wetlands area. Of course, some of them is the same for the ring seal. Again, we have the coastal, we have the oceanic pelagic zone, we have the Nearctic zone, we have the wetlands, we have the freshwater, but we also have lakes, rock and ice cap. Of course, also marine, which makes sense for both of them. When we go down to climate zones, the harbor seal lives in temperate and cold, And cold are very relative. I will say in Denmark we are temperate, but in the winter we can be very, very cold, but we can also have a winter where we don't even see snow. So it's hard to tell where it goes from tiger to temperate. And I have actually seen places, both Denmark as a temperate and a tiger, so it's hard to tell. But jumping over to the ring seal, they don't live in the temperate zone. They do live in the cold, which is the same, but they also live in the polar climate zones, which are very, very cold, probably the coldest of colds, and that's why they need to be able to poke through the ice on the top of the water. Both the harbor and ring seal are solitary creatures. However, they do meet in groups during the mating season. Normally when you see seals on television or such, you see them on land or on an ice flake or something like that in big groups. This only appears during the mating season. Seals do only get one pup, and therefore she needs, the mother that is, needs to make sure that she give her baby the best possible chance in the future. So therefore she won't breed with just anyone. She wants the biggest, the strongest male out there to get the biggest, strongest offspring. So when they meet for mating season, which isn't the same exactly, the harbor seals mate during half a year, spring to autumn, but the ring seal only from April to May, so they don't have as much time to push. But when they then meet for this mating season, they will meet on a rocky area, a beach or a ice, big piece of ice somewhere. And then the males will fight in the water, so they actually have a chance of fighting. But they will fight in the water, and the winner will be the only one that breeds. So a single male probably will be the only, depending on the size of the area. Of course, a big area, then you can have more winners. But probably only one male will be able to breed with the group that's there. Then the male can try his luck on another beach or another rock or something, if he can win a fight another place. But overall, only one male will be the winner. So they are technically polyamorous, but that's mainly the males, though the female will of course change over time, because probably it isn't the same male that wins every single year. There are actually a lot of differences for the pupping thing. Again, baby seals are called pups, even though I love pups as a name. Baby seals just sound so cute. Of course, there was the mating season that was different, but the harbor seal can be pregnant for 9 to 11 months, where these ring seal are only pregnant for 9 months. They both only get a single pup, but for the harbor seal it will be independent after 4 to 6 weeks, where it is 5 to 7 weeks for the ring seal. Though from birth, these baby seals or pups are ready to go in the water. They are ready, they can go in the water, they can go on land, they can follow their mom. And of course it don't have the same level of energy, so if she moves for a longer distance, then it will climb on her back and surf on her back underwater and on top of water when they need to go a longer distance. And that's that way she will always know exactly where it is, because she can feel it's right on her back. I don't know many moms that would like that, but then again, people carry babies everywhere. As I mentioned earlier, there are 350,000 to 500,000 individuals of the harbor seal lived in the wild. and there are 1.5 million of the ring seal. They are both listed as least concern, and as I said at the beginning, they don't really belong in this Future Life project because they don't really need the help. Their main issues is environmental issues, so they can't get issues over time because of climate change and oil spills and that kind of shit. But overall, they are thriving, luckily. And yeah, it's time for the cinematic, so I'll be back! Okay guys, it seems like we are at the end for today. I really hope you enjoyed it. Once again, I have an Instagram. It should be on the screen now if you want to follow me over there. And you know the drill, like, subscribe and turn on the bell notification so you know the next time I upload a video. I really hope to see you again either in the comments below or in the next video. Bye guys!